I've been reading up on the various bodies that regulate professional, technical, and skill-based education in India, and it's a bit overwhelming. There are so many statutory and regulatory bodies. Could you help me break them down?
Of course. India's education system is quite vast and intricate, with several bodies ensuring the maintenance of quality and standards across different fields. Let's start by understanding the statutory bodies. These are established by Acts of Parliament and have a mandate to oversee specific aspects of education.
Got it. I'm familiar with the University Grants Commission, UG. What exactly does it do?
The UG was established in 1956 by an Act of Parliament. It is responsible for the coordination, determination, and maintenance of standards in university education. The UG provides grants to eligible universities and colleges and advises the central and state governments on the measures needed for developing higher education. It functions from New Delhi and has 6 regional offices located in Bangalore, Bhopal, Guwahati, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and Pune.
That's interesting. So, the UG essentially ensures quality in university education. What about the All India Council for Technical Education, ICT?
The ICT was established in 1987 under the ICT Act. It regulates technical education in India, including fields like engineering, technology, architecture, and management. The ICT's role is to ensure coordinated and integrated development of technical education and maintain standards. It lays down norms for courses, curricula, facilities, and teaching, and grants approval for new technical institutions and programs.
I see. So, the ICT is focused on technical education. What about the National Council for Teacher Education, NCTE?
The NCTE was set up under the National Council for Teacher Education Act of 1993 and became operational in 1995. It regulates teacher education programs in India, ensuring planned and coordinated development of the teacher education system. The NCTE also maintains norms and standards for teacher education institutions across the country.
That makes sense. Are there any other bodies that oversee specific professional fields like medicine or law?
Yes, several councils oversee education in specific professional fields. Medical Council of India (MCI), established under the Indian Medical Council Act, 1956, it regulates medical education and sets standards for medical colleges and qualifications in India. Dental Council of India (DCI), formed under the Dentists Act, 1948, the DCI regulates dental education and the profession of dentistry. Pharmacy Council of India (PCI), established under the Pharmacy Act, 1948, the PCI controls pharmacy education and profession up to the graduate level. Bar Council of India (BC), formed under the Advocates Act, 1961, the BC regulates legal education and the profession of law. It also conducts the All India Bar Examination for law graduates. Council of Architecture (COA), established under the Architects Act, 1972, the COA regulates the education and practice of architecture.
Wow, each profession has its own regulatory body. What about councils for traditional and alternative medicine?
Yes, there are councils for those fields too. Central Council for Indian Medicine (CHIM), established under the Indian Medicine Central Council Act, 1970, it regulates education in Indian systems of medicine like Ayurveda, Siddha, and Unani. Central Council of Homeopathy (CCH), formed under the Homeopathy Central Council Act, 1973, it regulates homeopathic education and qualifications. Indian Nursing Council, Inc., constituted under the Indian Nursing Council Act, 1947, the Inc. regulates nursing education and maintains uniform standards for training nurses and midwives.
It's clear that India has a robust framework for regulating education. What about bodies focused on research and development, like in agriculture or science?
Good question. Here are a few key bodies focused on research and development. Indian Council of Agricultural Research (ICAR), established in 1929, ICAR is an autonomous body under the Ministry of Agriculture. It oversees agricultural research and education across the country, supporting numerous agricultural universities and research projects. Council of Scientific and Industrial Research (CSIR), set up in 1942, CSIR is India's largest research and development organization. It focuses on scientific and industrial research, covering sectors like aerospace, energy, environment, and healthcare. Center for Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC, established in 1988, CDAC is involved in R&D in IT and electronics, known for developing India's first supercomputer, Param.
Those are impressive institutions. How does accreditation work in India to ensure quality education across these diverse fields?
Accreditation is crucial for maintaining educational standards. Two main bodies handle accreditation: National Assessment and Accreditation Council (NAAC), established in 1994 under the UK. NAAC accredits higher education institutions like universities, colleges, and autonomous colleges. It evaluates institutions based on 7 criteria: curricular aspects, teaching learning processes, research, infrastructure, student support, governance, and innovations. Institutions receive grades from A to D based on their cumulative grade point average, (P). National Board of Accreditation (NBA), formed by the ICT in 1994, the NBA focuses on accrediting technical and professional programs. It became an autonomous body in 2010 and evaluates programs based on criteria like program outcomes, faculty contributions, and continuous improvement. Programs are accredited for 5 years if they meet the required standards.
It's great to see such a structured approach to accreditation. Are there any other notable educational bodies or councils we should know about?
Yes, there are several other important bodies. National Council of Educational Research and Training, NCERT, established in 1961, NCERT develops school curricula and educational resources, advises the government on school education, and conducts teacher training programs. National Institute of Open Schooling, NIOS, established in 1989, NIOS offers flexible schooling options for students who can't attend regular schools, providing vocational, life enrichment, and academic courses. National Council for Rural Institutes, NCRI, founded in 1995, NCRI promotes rural higher education based on Gandhian principles, supporting rural livelihoods through education. Rehabilitation Council of India, RCI, established as a statutory body in 1993, RCI standardizes and regulates training for professionals in rehabilitation and special education.
This has been incredibly informative. I never realized just how extensive and varied the education regulatory framework is in India. Thanks for breaking it down for me.
I've been reading about different educational and professional bodies in India, and I found some really interesting organizations like IMA, C, and CDAC. Can we go through them in detail? I want to understand what each of them does.
Sure. Let's start with the All India Management Association, AIMA. It's actually the national apex body for the management profession in India.
Oh, that sounds significant. What exactly does AIMA do?
AIMA was established in 1957 with the support of the Government of India and the industry. It's a non-lobbying, not-for-profit organization that works closely with industry, government, academia, and students to promote the management profession in India. AIMA has over 30,000 members and is associated with 67 local management associations.
So, AIMA is like a hub for management professionals. What kind of activities does it engage in?
Yes, exactly. AIMA engages in a variety of activities to enhance management education and practices. These include distance management education, providing accessible management education to students and professionals, management development programs, conducting training sessions for managerial skills development, research and publications, producing research work and publications in management, testing services, offering testing services like management aptitude tests, MAT, national events and competitions, organizing events and competitions to promote management skills.
That's quite comprehensive. It seems like AIMA plays a crucial role in shaping management education and practices. What about their involvement with policy making?
AIMA is indeed represented on several policy-making bodies of the Government of India, including All India Council for Technical Education, ICT, the apex regulatory body for professional education in India, National Board of Accreditation, NBA, involved in accrediting technical education programs, Association of Indian Management Schools, Hyderabad, a collaborative body for management education. National Productivity Council, New Delhi, works on enhancing productivity across sectors in India.
That's fascinating. Now, what about the Bar Council of India, BSI? I know it's related to law, but can you tell me more?
Absolutely. The Bar Council of India, BSI, is a statutory body created by Parliament under the Advocates Act, 1961. Its main role is to regulate and represent the Indian bar, ensuring standards of professional conduct and etiquette, and exercising disciplinary jurisdiction over the legal profession.
What are some of the specific functions of the BSI?
The BSI has several key functions, setting standards for legal education. BSI prescribes standards for legal education and grants recognition to universities whose law degrees qualify graduates to enroll as advocates. All India Bar Examination. In 2010, the BSI introduced the All India Bar Examination, which is required for law graduates to practice law in India. It tests both substantive and procedural law. National Law School of India University. BSI also founded this university to provide high-quality legal education and research.
It seems like the BSI is pivotal in maintaining the quality and integrity of legal education and practice in India. Now, what about the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC?
CDAC is quite a unique institution. It's the premier R&D organization under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MEID. Established in 1988, CDAC was created in response to the USA's denial of supercomputers to India, prompting India to develop its own capabilities.
That's impressive. What are CDAC's main areas of focus?
CDAC focuses on several key areas in IT and electronics, including supercomputing. Starting with Param, India's first supercomputer, CDAC has developed multiple generations of supercomputers. IT and electronics R&D, extensive research in information technology, electronics, and related areas. Advanced computing solutions, providing cutting-edge solutions in computing, from healthcare to education and beyond.
CDAC has certainly been a game-changer in Indian technology. Moving on, can you tell me about the Central Hindi Directorate, CHD?
Sure. The Central Hindi Directorate, CHD, was established on March 1, 1960, under the Ministry of Education, now the Ministry of Human Resource Development, to promote and propagate Hindi throughout India. Its main goal is to develop Hindi as a link language across the country.
How does the CHD achieve this?
The CHD undertakes various initiatives, such as conducting correspondence courses. These are aimed at teaching Hindi to non-Hindi speaking Indians and foreigners. Producing dictionaries and conversational books. These resources are available in bilingual, trilingual, and multilingual formats to facilitate learning. Promotional schemes. Various schemes are in place to promote the use of Hindi as a national language.
It's great to see such efforts being made to promote Hindi. What about the Central Institute of Educational Technology, CIET?
The Central Institute of Educational Technology, CIET, a part of CERT, was established in 1984. Its main aim is to promote the use of educational technologies like radio, TV, satellite communications, and cyber media to enhance learning and productivity in classrooms.
That's an interesting approach. What specific activities does CIET engage in?
CIET is involved in several key activities: developing ICT curriculum, creating a curriculum for students and teachers that integrates information and communication technology, National Repository of Open Educational Resources, NROR, a platform for sharing educational resources, training programs, organizing training for teachers and educators from various states and union territories, educational broadcasting, disseminating educational content through channels like DD1, Jnanvani, and Jnan Darshan.
CIET seems to play a significant role in integrating technology into education. How about the Central Institute of English and Foreign Languages, CIFL?
The Central Institute of English and Foreign Languages, CIFL, now known as the English and Foreign Languages University, Hyderabad, was established in 1958. It focuses exclusively on the study and teaching of English and other foreign languages.
So, what are the primary activities of CIFL?
CIFL offers various language programs in English, Arabic, French, German, Japanese, Russian, and Spanish. It has 3 campuses in Hyderabad, Lucknow, and Shillong, and uses television and other media to make education accessible to remote areas.
That's fantastic. Finally, can you tell me about the Central Institute of Indian Languages, CIL?
The Central Institute of Indian Languages, CIL, was established in 1969 in Mysore to support the development of Indian languages. It's a subordinate office under the Ministry of Human Resource Development.
What are CIL's main objectives?
CIL's main objectives include research and development, conducting research in language analysis, pedagogy, and technology, promotion of Indian languages, promoting Indian languages through various schemes and initiatives, teacher training, operating regional language centers that train teachers in languages other than their mother tongue.
It's fascinating to see how these organizations contribute to education and professional development in India. Thanks for explaining everything in such detail.
I've been looking into some statutory and regulatory bodies in India that deal with professional education and practice. I came across several councils like the Dental Council of India, the Medical Council of India, and others. Can we discuss them in detail?
Of course. Let's start with the Dental Council of India, DCI. It's a statutory body established under the Dentists Act, 1948. The main function of the DCI is to regulate dental education and the profession of dentistry throughout India.
So, what does DCI specifically do?
The DCI ensures that dental education and practice in India meet certain standards. It is financed by the Government of India through the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. The council has representatives from the central government, state governments, universities, dental colleges, the Medical Council of India, and private practitioners. Its primary roles include regulating dental education, the profession, and dental ethics across the country.
Interesting. What about the Medical Council of India, MCI? I believe it's related to medical education.
Yes, you're right. The Medical Council of India, MCI, was established under the Indian Medical Council Act, 1956, which was later amended in 1993. The MCI's main responsibility is to prescribe minimum standards for medical education required for granting recognized medical qualifications by universities or medical institutions in India.
That's essential for maintaining the quality of medical education and practice. And what about the Pharmacy Council of India, PCI?
The Pharmacy Council of India, PCI, was constituted under Section 3 of the Pharmacy Act, 1948. The PCI controls pharmacy education and the profession in India up to the graduate level. It is responsible for prescribing the minimum standard of education for qualification as a pharmacist.
It's good to know that there's a regulatory body for pharmacy education too. How about the Indian Nursing Council, Inc.?
The Indian Nursing Council, Inc. is another statutory body established under the Indian Nursing Council Act, 1947. The Inc. regulates and maintains uniform standards of training for nurses, midwives, auxiliary nurse midwives, and health visitors. It's crucial in ensuring that nursing education and practice maintain high standards across the country.
That's really important for healthcare. Now, what can you tell me about the Central Council of Homeopathy, CCH?
The Central Council of Homeopathy, CCH, was established under the Homeopathy Central Council Act, 1973. The CCH prescribes and recognizes all homeopathic medicine qualifications. Any university or medical institution that wants to grant a medical qualification in homeopathy must apply to the CCH. The Council is responsible for maintaining a central register of homeopathy and overseeing the conduct of examinations and facilities.
It sounds like the CCH plays a vital role in maintaining the standards of homeopathic education and practice. What about the Central Council for Indian Medicine, CHIM?
The Central Council for Indian Medicine, CHIM, is a statutory body constituted under the Indian Medicine Central Council Act, 1970. It prescribes minimum standards of education in Indian systems of medicine such as Ayurveda, Siddha, and Unani Tib. The CHIM also maintains a central register on Indian medicine and prescribes standards of professional conduct, etiquette, and code of ethics to be observed by practitioners. Additionally, The council appoints medical inspectors and visitors to observe and inspect facilities and the conduct of examinations.
It's great to see such comprehensive regulation for various branches of medicine. How does the Rehabilitation Council of India, RCI, fit into all this?
The Rehabilitation Council of India, RCI, was initially set up as a registered society in 1986, but it became a statutory body under the Rehabilitation Council of India Act, 1992, which was later amended in 2000. The RCI is responsible for standardizing and regulating the training of professionals in the field of rehabilitation and special education. It ensures that anyone providing services to people with disabilities has the necessary qualifications recognized by the RCI, and they could be prosecuted if they do not meet these standards.
That's a critical function, especially for the training and regulation of professionals working in rehabilitation. I also read about the National Council for Rural Institutes, NCRI. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. The National Council for Rural Institutes, NCRI, is an autonomous society fully funded by the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India. It was registered on the 19th of October 1995 with its headquarters in Hyderabad. The main objective of the NCRI is to promote rural higher education to advance rural livelihoods, following Mahatma Gandhi's concept of Nai Talim, which emphasizes functional education based on Gandhian values.
So, the NCRI focuses on rural education and livelihoods. What are some other important educational bodies in India that I should know about?
There are several notable ones, including ROIC, Department of Electronics Accreditation of Computer Courses, offers courses ranging from certificate to master's level in computer education, including horizontal level entry. FT, Film and Television Institute of India, along with National School of Drama, NSD, Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute, SRFTI, and Shri Ram Center for Performing Arts, SRCPA, these are apex institutes for films and dramatics. ICFR, Indian Council of Philosophical Research, focuses on research and administration in philosophical studies. IAS, Indian Institute of Advanced Study, a residential center for research promoting creative thought in areas of human significance. IFT, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, a business school offering management programs, particularly in international business. ISK, Indian Institute of Science, a leading institution for research and advanced instruction, particularly in engineering and sciences. IRO, Indian Space Research Organization, develops space technology and applications for national activities, including satellite systems. ISI, Indian Statistical Institute, specializes in teaching and training in mathematics, statistics, and allied disciplines. ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, focuses on education and professional development in accounting, auditing, and ethical standards. ICSI, Institute of Company Secretaries of India, develops and regulates the profession of company secretaries. IEG, Institute of Economic Growth, a research institute focusing on economics and social development. IMSS, Institute of Mathematical Sciences, conducts research in mathematics, physics, and computer sciences. IOP, Institute of Physics, specializes in research in high-energy, nuclear, atomic, molecular, and condensed matter physics. JNV, Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas, fully residential co-educational schools that provide free education from classes 6 to 12.
Wow, that's a lot of organizations. It's amazing to see how each of these bodies contributes to various fields of education and professional development in India. Thanks for breaking it all down for me.
I've been exploring the concepts of value education and environmental education recently. I read some interesting ideas, but I'm still a bit confused. Can we go through them in detail?
Absolutely. Let's start with value education. According to C.V. Good, value education is the aggregate of all the processes by which a person develops abilities, attitudes, and other forms of behavior of positive values in the society in which he lives.
So, value education is about developing positive attitudes and behaviors?
Yes, exactly. It's about cultivating qualities that are considered positive or beneficial within a society. Mahatma Gandhi also emphasized the importance of values, saying, "If wealth is lost, nothing is lost. If health is lost, something is lost." If character is lost, everything is lost. This highlights the supreme importance of character in one's life.
That makes sense. How is value education integrated into the Indian education system?
Value education is a key focus of the Indian education system. For instance, the National Conference on Minimum Curriculum Standards for the Primary Stage, organized by the NCERT, National Council for Educational Research and Training, in July 1970, emphasized inculcating moral and spiritual values in students. Values such as honesty, kindness, charity, tolerance, courtesy, sympathy, and compassion were highlighted as essential aspects of our culture.
That's really insightful. How does the National Policy on Education address value education?
The National Policy on Education lays significant emphasis on value education, viewing it as a powerful tool for cultivating social and moral values. The policy stresses that education in a culturally plural society like India should foster universal and eternal values aimed at promoting unity and integration among people.
I see. What specific values does the policy aim to promote?
Dr. Khattri, who led the Khattri Commission 1964-66, emphasized values such as democracy, socialism, and equality of all religions. He also stressed the importance of achieving skills through science and technology while balancing the development of human values.
That's quite comprehensive. Are there different types of values in the context of education?
Yes, there are several categories of values. 1. National or constitutional values. These are values included in a country's constitution. For example, the Indian Constitution emphasizes values such as justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. 2. Social values. These are values preserved according to a country's culture. In India, values like pity, self-control, universal brotherhood, honesty, respect, and faith are considered important. 3. Professional values. Different professions have their own set of values. For instance, in the teaching profession, values like knowledge, sincerity, regularity, and faith are emphasized. 4. Religious values. Each religion has its own set of values. For example, in Buddhism, values like wisdom, character, and pity are important. Some values are common across religions, while others are unique to a particular faith.
That's a great breakdown. Moving on, what about environmental education? How does it fit into the broader educational framework?
Environmental education, is essential for developing a deep understanding and appreciation of the natural world. It helps learners acquire knowledge and skills to address environmental challenges, promoting sustainable living practices. Aims to empower individuals to participate actively in creating a sustainable future.
What are the key characteristics of environmental education?
The key characteristics of environmental education include awareness, building awareness and sensitivity to environmental issues. Knowledge, providing basic understanding and experiences related to environmental problems. Attitudes, encouraging values and feelings of concern for the environment and motivating people to participate in its protection. Skills, equipping individuals with the skills to identify and solve environmental problems. Participation, encouraging active involvement in addressing environmental challenges at all levels. Evaluation ability, developing the ability to evaluate environmental measures and education programs considering social, economic, ecological, and aesthetic factors.
That's quite detailed. What about environmental education for sustainable development, EAST?
Environmental Education for Sustainable Development, EASD, focuses on integrating environmental education into the broader goal of sustainable development. It's about increasing knowledge and awareness about environmental challenges, developing the skills to address these challenges, and fostering attitudes and commitments to take responsible actions.
How does EASD align with global initiatives?
EASD aligns with several international agreements aimed at sustainable development. For example, the UN's Agenda 21 calls for reorienting all education towards sustainability. Additionally, after the Stockholm Conference of 1972, India adopted sustainable development as a key principle, participating in the Rio Declaration during the 1992 UN Conference on Environment and Development.
That's impressive. What are some of the objectives of environmental education?
The objectives of environmental education include awareness, encouraging awareness and sensitivity towards the environment. Knowledge, providing experiences and understanding of environmental issues. Attitudes, developing values and concerns for the environment. Skills, building skills to identify and solve environmental problems. Participation, encouraging involvement in environmental protection efforts. Evaluation ability, fostering the ability to evaluate environmental education programs and measures.
I've been trying to get a better understanding of the fundamental rights in India and their classifications. Could you help me go through them?
Of course. Let's start by discussing the fundamental rights provided by the Indian Constitution. Originally, the Constitution included 7 fundamental rights. 1. Right to equality, Articles 14-18, 2. Right to freedom, Articles 19-22, 3. Right against exploitation, Articles 23-24, 4. Right to freedom of religion, Articles 25-28, 5. Cultural and educational rights, Articles 29-30, 6. Right to property, Article 31, 7. Right to constitutional remedies, Article 32. However, the right to property was removed from the list of fundamental rights by the 44th Amendment Act in 1978. Now, there are 6 fundamental rights in the Indian Constitution.
Interesting. Can we go over each of these rights in more detail?
Absolutely. Here's a breakdown of the 6 fundamental rights currently in place. 1. Right to equality, Articles 14-18. Article 14 ensures equality before the law and equal protection of the laws to all individuals within the territory of India. Article 15 prohibits discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Article 16 guarantees equality of opportunity in matters of public employment. Article 17 abolishes untouchability and forbids its practice in any form. Article 18 abolishes titles except for military and academic distinctions. 2. Right to freedom, Articles 19-22. Article 19 guarantees 6 freedoms to the citizens of India. 1. Freedom of speech and expression. 2. Freedom of assembly. 3. Freedom to form associations or unions. 4. Freedom of movement throughout the territory of India. 5. Freedom of residence and settlement in any part of the territory of India. 6. Freedom to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade, or business. Article 20 provides protection in respect of conviction for offenses. Article 21 guarantees protection of life and personal liberty. Article 22 provides protection against arrest and detention in certain cases. 3. Right against exploitation, Articles 23-24. Article 23 prohibits trafficking in human beings and forced labor. Article 24 prohibits employment of children below the age of 14 years in any factory or mine or any other hazardous employment. 4. Right to freedom of religion, Articles 25-28. Article 25 ensures freedom of conscience and free profession, practice, and propagation of religion. Article 26 grants freedom to manage religious affairs. Article 27 prohibits taxes on religious grounds. Article 28 provides freedom as to attendance at religious instruction or religious worship in certain educational institutions. 5. Cultural and educational rights, Articles 29-30. Article 29 protects the interests of minorities by allowing them to conserve their language, script, and culture. Article 30 grants minorities the right to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice. 6. Right to constitutional remedies, Article 32. Article 32 empowers individuals to move the Supreme Court to seek remedy for the enforcement of their fundamental rights. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar described this right as the heart and soul of the Constitution.
That's a thorough overview. I've heard about the right to education being an important part of the Indian Constitution. How does that fit in?
Good question. The right to education is actually part of Article 21A. It was introduced by the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act, 2009, which made education a fundamental right for children aged 6 to 14 years. This act ensures that all children have access to free elementary education, especially those from economically disadvantaged backgrounds.
That's so crucial for a developing country like India. Does the Indian Constitution have any other provisions related to education?
Yes, it does. Apart from Article 21A, there are several other provisions that promote and support the educational structure. Article 28 guarantees freedom to attend religious instruction or worship in educational institutions. Article 29 ensures equitable access to educational institutions for minorities. Article 30 recognizes the right of minorities to establish and manage their own educational institutions. Article 46 discusses the need for special consideration in promoting the educational and economic interests of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other weaker sections. Article 337 pertains to educational subsidies for the Anglo-Indian community.
That's quite comprehensive. How does the right to education relate to international laws and agreements?
The right to education is also recognized internationally. For example, Article 26 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights considers education a basic human necessity. The UNESCO Convention Against Discrimination in Education, 1960, reaffirms this right. Several other international accords, like the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, 1989, and the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, 1981, emphasize the right to education.
That's interesting. What about organizations that promote education globally?